Let's take a couple of minutes taking a look at all the blocks that you can use to code your projects. Over on the left-hand side, you'll see a number of different categories. The top category, the motions category, contain all the blocks that you're going to use to move your sprites around the stage. The looks category are the blocks that you're going to use to animate your sprites on the stage. You can even get your sprites to say something. The blocks in the sound category are the blocks that you'll use to play music and sounds in your projects. The events blocks are the blocks that you're going to use to get things to happen in your projects. For example, you can use the when space key pressed block to get something to happen in your project. Let's get techie to play a sound when the space bar is pressed. I'm going to go back to my sound blocks and I'm going to pull out the play sound until done block. It doesn't look like there's any sounds attached to this sprite because this is one of the sprites we uploaded from our computer. So let's add a sound. So I'm going to go over to the sounds tab up at the top left hand side, and down at the bottom I'm going to click on choose the sound, and I'm going to search for one of the sounds that are included in Scratch. I can edit the sound if I want to, but I think that's good enough for this example. I'm going to go back to the code tab, and now in my drop down I should be able to select the trombone sound. Now when I press the spacebar, Techie should play the sound of a trombone. There are a number of different event blocks that you can use to trigger things to happen in your projects. There are a few more block categories left, but I'll let you investigate those. One last thing I do want to show you is the Costumes tab. I'm going to select my Scratch sprite and then I'm going to click on Costumes. You can see that this sprite has two different costumes or looks that we can use. Let's see how we can use both of these costumes to make it look like Scratch is walking. So I'm going to go back to my code tab. I'm going to clean up this area a little bit, so I'm going to just drag everything over to the left hand side. I'm going to start off with an event. The event I'm going to use this time is clicking the green flag. I'm also going to get rid of some of these other sprites that are on the stage for now. I can do that by clicking on the X in the top right hand corner for each of my sprites icons. I'm going to bring Scratch right over to this side right here. I'm going to go into my controls and I'm going to use a loop, and I'm going to have this loop, let's say 10 times for now. I'm also going to use a wait block, and I'm just going to drag that over here for a second. Then I'm going to use a looks block. I'm going to use the next costume block to switch back and forth between the two costumes that are available for this sprite. Alright, let's build our code. I'm going to put the wait block in first, followed by the next costume, and then I'm going to get Scratch into a good starting spot. That looks good to me right there. And let's click the green flag to see what happens. Scratch is stepping very slowly and he's not moving at all. So let's stop that for a second, and I'm going to change how long we're waiting in between steps to 0.3, and let's run that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. The last thing we need to do is we need to get Scratch to move across the screen, and we're going to do that by using one of the motion blocks. And I'm going to pull this out here. We're going to change X by 10. So every time we loop through, we're going to change the costume and we're going to move Scratch 10 spaces to the right. Let's see how that looks. Alright, I think we can get Scratch to move a little bit faster. So let's change the 10 to 20 and see what that looks like. Alright, Scratch is motoring across the beach. I'm happy with that. A great way to develop your coding skills is to work your way through some of the Scratch built-in tutorials. And that's my challenge to you. How many Scratch tutorials can you complete? I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do. Scratch on.